Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to everyone's favorite show about plastic surgery, health, and beauty. Today, we got an awesome show for you. First up, full body MRIs. Are these things good or are they a waste of money? Next, cosmetic surgeons are not real. I'm going to tell you what that means. Lastly, Sarah's going to tell us all about cryotherapy, and I can't wait to hear it. It's coming up right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk. An honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann. With me, as always, is the wonderful Sarah. Looking great today. How are you, Sarah?
Good.
Great. In the box, we got Travis, as always. How you doing, man?
I am good. How about you?
Doing great. It's good to see you guys. You know, I know we had a show last week, but I was actually gone last week on vacay, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
aren't you going on vacay next week?
Yes.
Well, where are you going?
Nashville for my birthday. And
it's your birthday?
today is actually Avery's birthday.
Is it? Oh, that's
Yeah.
happy birthday.
She's 8, and then next
You guys' birthdays
week,
are really close. When's yours?
the 20th. So hers is the 11th, mine's the 20th. We're both little Leos, so
Uh-oh.
she's like my inner, like, she's like who
Your
I
mini-me.
am, like inside.
Like a little mini-me.
Yeah, walking around. Then I just have a filter.
Right.
She does not.
Kids don't have filters.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny sometimes.
I kind of hope she doesn't get one. I
Yeah.
hope she's like
She's very
always
confident.
very like,
Yeah.
I am Avery and this is how it's going to happen.
I know. That's good. My daughter's kind of like that, too. She's a
Yeah.
Scorpio, which I think are
I'm,
like,
my friends, my little astrology gals, they are always telling me about my astrology signs. So it's like I'm
really?
a Aries moon, Scorpio rising. So I have very strong,
opinions and...
I'm just a very strong
I
personality
can see that.
person.
Yeah, totally see that.
But sometimes I don't feel like
It's
that.
funny how that
Sometimes
astrology
I feel very
stuff-
timid.
Astrology things is because, you know, I mean, it's hard to like really believe that any of it's like real, but I mean, I'm totally
I
interested
think
in
it's fun.
It is fun. So I'm a Sagittarius, which is like the total like...
I'm supposed to not get along with you.
Really?
Yeah, Leos.
So I never understand like how that works, but like my whole sign is all just about like, oh, everything's cool and like I'm like a wanderer, and it's like really kind of accurate, to be honest. So it's just kind of funny. What sign are you, Travis? I don't know how we got off on astrology.
I am a Cancer.
A Cancer. So what's Cancer's like? I mean, do you know what the theme, or do you know?
Crabs.
Crabs.
They're very
you
much,
moody?
they're much so,
moody?
very much so crabs. They're moody, yeah, and
Really?
they can be timid, but they can also be very like strong towards like people that they love.
Okay. Now, would you say that fits your personality?
Yeah, I can
Really?
definitely say that. Yeah, for sure.
That's so funny.
For sure. I think like with the astrology, it tells a portion of the story, not like the whole thing. I think
Yeah.
it does tell like a portion
Yeah,
of it though.
You should get all of your
My signs
your
and risings and stuff.
Yeah, because then it's really
I'll have to
really
look at that.
crazy.
It is funny, like, I mean, obviously I'm not like, you know, a huge believer in it, but I do find it super interesting. And
There's always this funny like red flag thing for guys. Like if a girl ever messages a guy and it's like, what day were you born and what time?
oh, they're like looking
and
up
they're
there.
like, and it's like if a girl asks you that, like no.
Yeah,
Do y'all know what day y'all was born?
I was born on a Thursday in the morning.
I don't
know the
remember,
exact time.
but I have to always ask my mom because my mom remembers and she remembers what time.
Really?
I like how
So-
you said I don't remember, like when you were a baby, you remember.
Like I don't remember.
like, oh, I'm born today. That's crazy.
See, I don't remember the day I was born, but I remember the next day. I was in the hospital.
remember the next.
I remember that moment. No, but I don't remember every time my mom tells me.
I get you.
So,
I get
yeah.
you. That's funny.
But
That's
you know what's
funny.
cool is that I always like how people are like, oh, what are Leos? Because everybody already knows.
Right.
And then I'm like, that's totally my personality because
I don't
I'm
know
like,
all the. I just know like what I.
well, you know, like a Leo is supposed to be stereotypically like
A lion.
Strong.
like
yeah.
Leo strong, like
Yeah.
yeah, all of that stuff. And
And
like
so-
you already know it, but a lot
Yeah.
like that's like the most well-known thing. But it's also Leos are that astrology sign that is the most of the time when people are born.
Oh,
like,
really?
August is like a really high.
Because it's like
Birth.
9 months earlier it's winter and everybody's inside.
Facts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I'm bored.
Yeah, it's cold outside. Let's stay in, watch some Netflix.
Yeah.
So I do have one funny story about vacation. We got off on Australia, which I love. I think that's a cool topic. Maybe we'll have to do a deeper dive. I don't know how we're gonna roll that into like our plastic surgery medicine topics, but we could try somehow.
That'd be dope.
It's
We'll
mental health, maybe.
Yeah, mental. I will try. Let's see if we can come up with a topic. But I have this really funny story. So I know you weren't here a year ago. That was right before you came. Travis, do you remember when last year we went on vacation to Nassau? And I was talking about how we went to that festival that was really kind of locals only, and it was kind of strange at first because literally there was no tourists there, but we had the most amazing time and all that.
I remember that the guy climbed the pole and all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So we went to Nassau again this year, and unfortunately we missed it by a week because we were going to go do the same thing. It's called Fox Hill Day.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing is we were downtown at I think it's called Goomba, which is like basically, it's another one of the emancipation holidays for the Bahamas, and they have like a little thing downtown. This is gonna sound fake, and I swear to God it's not, but a dude stopped me and asked me if I was at Fox Hill Day the year before.
The year before?
This is a guy from the Bahamas, man. Like he saw me in the crowd and stopped me and said, "Were you at Fox Hill Day last year?" Because he recognized the four of us, because obviously we stood out because we were the only locals.
Yeah.
And I was just, oh my God, I can't believe you recognized this. Like, it was the coolest thing. I actually took my picture with him, and
That's dope.
That's cool.
it was pretty fun.
It's
Like,
an annual thing now for y'all. Y'all have to.
dude, we were
going
gonna go back totally, but we missed it. It was this past Tuesday, and we were there Saturday to Saturday, so we missed it. We were like super sad because they liked us there. We were a noviety,
Of
and so
course.
they were like, "Come back." We're like, okay, but unfortunately
If
we
you
missed it.
insist.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, we really, my wife and I were talking about, we really like the Bahamas, man. The people are super chill, and like the island's nice. And
You should buy like a little,
I know I can't afford that right now.
we'll go in with the other buds.
How's the food in the Bahamas? Is it?
I like it. It's like seafood, like
Okay.
like conch, crab. Like we got like cracked lobster. Like we go downtown and eat like kind of where some of the locals eat, so we're not always like eating at the resort and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we had like conch and like jerk chicken, which I love.
Right.
I mean, I love Caribbean food, like authentic Caribbean food. So yeah, I could totally see myself posting up there for a while.
For sure.
That'd
There
be
we go.
awesome.
See?
One day, maybe.
There we go.
So anyway, all right. Well, let's move on to some topics. So, I don't know. You probably saw this. You always know these things beforehand. Did you see Kim Kardashian's post on Instagram about the full body MRI? Did you miss it?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so that was really interesting. These things are kind of a new one. She was talking about pre-nuvo. I'm not sure exactly how you
I
pronounce
think
that.
her mom did a full body MRI
did she?
on the show that they have on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, "Oh, you have the body of a 35-year-old."
Yeah, I mean, so, these things are being pushed a lot by these companies, which, because, it's not super, MRI machines are not cheap, but they're not crazy expensive either. And so these companies are buying them, and they do these big, like, marketing pushes where, like, and so Kim Kardashian, she's quoted saying, "This is a life-saving machine. It's like an MRI for an hour with no radiation," which is a stupid thing to say because MRIs use magnetic energy. It's not radiation like a CT scan. Like it's just, that's like saying, here's a car that doesn't run on nuclear power. You're like, oh, no cars run on nuclear power. I mean, all MRIs are it's magnetic is how it detects.
Hey, at least it's a true statement.
It is a true statement. And she's saying you can be used to detect cancer and aneurysm in the earliest stages before their symptoms. And so of course, anytime Kim Kardashian posts anything, there's like always people on every side arguing for or against whatever. But she caught a little bit of backlash on this one, and from the medical community as well. And I don't know. I mean, as always, like I like to be like take a kind of a neutral approach and think, okay, is there any benefit to this or not? So, I know a little bit about this because I've heard about these things. I've looked them up. I did a little bit more research. I thought we'd talk about it. So first of all, would you guys do this? Like, would you go get a full body MRI? Like,
I've gotten my head in an MRI machine because
but
I
like
had,
for a reason or no reason?
for a reason.
Okay, for a reason. Okay, but like,
yeah,
would
but
you?
I don't know if I could stay in like all the way because I remember
They
when
are
I
pretty
went.
claustrophobic.
Yeah, I remember when I went in there for my head. They're like, okay, don't like freak out or anything because
like
you're
your
gonna
head's in, like,
be.
in a box.
Your whole body's not gonna be in there because
Right.
it's just your head. And I was
Which
like,
is like still the worst part.
I was like, okay, but like my legs could like I didn't feel like completely like constricted.
Yeah.
I was like when I was in there, I was like scared to like swallow and like Like,
is this machine melting my brain?
yeah, like I was like, if I move, they're gonna have to do this over again or something.
That would be the worst.
And I was like, oh God. It was just annoying.
Would you do a full body one for no reason? Well, not for no reason, but to just
If
see.
I had to pay for it,
Yeah.
no.
What if it was free?
Yes.
Travis,
Yeah, I would.
would you do it?
Yeah, I would. I'm not really one of those type of guys or the
If
type
I-
of people who
yeah.
doesn't like tight spaces. I'm
Yeah,
okay
if it
with
was for free and all I had to do was post about it like Kim did,
Yeah.
probably.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she probably got paid
So,
and
I
posted
don't know. You
and
know,
got
I
it
mean,
for
so
free.
I'm going to tell you guys some of the reasons why I'm against it, but like I'm not like totally against it. I mean, because MRIs are pretty sensitive, and if you had something going wrong with you that was asymptomatic, you could theoretically pick it up. Like, you know, like for me, I think like a colon cancer, right? Because colon cancers grow kind of slow. And I mean, you can have them for like quite a long time before they become symptomatic. And if you catch them early, I mean, it's the difference between life and death sometimes. So, I mean, I think that there are potentially times when one of these could save your life.
Yeah.
Statistically, no. So let's talk about it. So a full body scan costs $2,500. Takes about an hour to do. Now, one thing about these MRIs, and I order MRIs for my patients for various reasons. Most of the times when I order MRI, I order it with contrast. So that means they put an IV in and they put a dye in there, which makes your tissues light up.
I did that one time,
Yeah.
once, for my
And so
very first one.
when you use contrast with either an MRI or a CT scan, you can see a lot better. Now, these companies don't use contrast because, for one, then you have to have like nurses there to start IVs, and two, some people are allergic to contrast. Other people's, if their kidneys aren't good, then that's an issue too. So from a business model, they're just like, yeah, we're just not going to do that. We're just going to do like a basic MRI. So these are not as sensitive as MRIs that you would get like in a hospital. I mean, they might have thinner slices, but that's not necessarily helpful. If it's not contrasted, they're not going to be able to see as much. So anyway, this company founded in 2018. It's an alternative to diagnostic MRI to expand life expectancy and offer peace of mind. A couple of medical groups came out and kind of slammed this, and it was the American College of Preventive Medicine and the American College of Radiology. So these are two medical groups that are basically kind of the overseers of detecting problems. One's radiology and the other's preventive medicine. And they both were kind of on the same page and said that these scans can, one, cause significant harms, waste money, and healthcare resources.
Oh my
And that
gosh.
there's no scientific evidence that detecting lesions earlier than normal will save lives.
Okay.
So, and they're right on that. When you look at the research, because the reason we know these things is because at times there's been pushes for like, why don't we just CT scan people once a year? I mean, why not? I mean, you can CT scan someone in like literally 60 seconds. You put them in the machine, zoop, zoop, out. And, you know, you get a little bit of radiation from that, but it's not enough radiation to cause really any significant issue.
Right.
So why don't we do that? Well, because it's not cost effective. Most people that are asymptomatic aren't going to have anything that's worth detecting.
Right.
And so the cost to risk outcome is bad. I probably didn't say that right, but the benefit to risk ratio is off, right? Because there are downsides to doing this. One is cost, which I'm always like, okay, well, if it's about your life, I mean, cost shouldn't be the number one factor. But the biggest reason that these things are kind of looked down upon by the medical community is something called an incidentaloma. All right. Now I know neither one of you guys probably have ever heard this term.
No.
But incidentaloma is basically I don't want to say it's a made-up word because we use it in medicine all the time, but it's a word to signify something that's found on a test that is unexpected but also not a problem. And so, for example, like if you did a CT scan and you saw like a little cyst on the liver, that would be an incidentaloma. It's not supposed to be there, right? I mean, you're not supposed to have cysts in your liver.
Yeah.
But if you find something like that, it's going to be tagged, and people are going to say, well, this is probably nothing, but it could be something. And then what happens? Well, then you have to go and you have to get a biopsy, right? Or you should. And so the problem with these scans is that if you get them and you find something that's not really anything, but they can't say 100% it's not, then it triggers this cascade of you getting more tests, which then opens you up to more costs. Is insurance going to pay for these things? Is there risk to getting a CT-guided biopsy of your liver? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there as an example. Yeah, for sure there is. And so, there's been some studies that looked at this, and 40% of like random, so there was a study that looked at people who got scans for various reasons. 40% of these showed an incidentaloma, okay? So like 4 out of 10 scans done for not something specific found something that was unexpected. Of those 40%, only 1% ended up being something that was worth knowing about.
Like treatable.
Something that was, yeah, treatable. So that means that, 99% of people who have an incidentaloma don't really have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
And so all those 99 people are then getting all these further studies, which cost money, which increase risks. And so that's why they say that these scans really are not worth it.
Yeah, honestly, that kind of sounds similar to my situation that I was in whenever I had like a huge seizure, a grand mal seizure.
Right, because I remember you
they
told me
found
about
lesions
this.
in my brain, but they're like, we don't know if they came because of your seizure or if you've always had them. So if they show up again, you might be diagnosed with MS. Like if more lesions show up around my brain.
So did you follow up on that?
Yeah, I had to get an MRI like every 6 months for 2 years, and then after that once a year.
And there was nothing found?
For like 8 years.
Okay.
And they never, and none of my lesions never grew and all that kind of stuff.
You are in a microcosm the reason that people shouldn't get full body scans, because you got the scan, they found something that's like, okay, we're not sure what this is, it's probably nothing, we don't know, and then you had 8 years of MRIs.
But then they scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the doctor was like, I don't really know what this is, but these are the things it could be. And then it scared the poop out of me.
Yeah, and so you are the perfect example of why doing a full body scan.
I went for a reason.
No, I know that.
Because of the
I know
seizure.
that.
But
totally. Yeah. But like the incidentaloma thing is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know you went for something specific. I mean,
but sometimes I kind of wish I did go get an MRI before I had a seizure, like just for funsies, because then I'd been like, I want to see like because then we would know if I got the lesions from the seizures.
Yeah. It's funny though, because you have this almost like sense of relief if you get a scan. It's negative. I was in a car wreck. I don't know. It was about 8 years ago, and I got hit really, really. I was literally stopped at a red light, and I think somebody was on their phone, and I got rear-ended. They were probably doing 50 miles an hour, but like you've seen my truck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's big, and it's got huge like grill guards on it. So my truck was literally fine. The car that hit me was totaled, but it hit me so hard it pushed me through the intersection, and so.
Oh, that could have been horrible.
Yeah, right, exactly. It could have been really bad, but like it ended up I was okay. I didn't go. Well, first I didn't go to the hospital. The guy had to go to the hospital in the ambulance. He was messed up, and luckily my truck was fine. Since it has those big grill guards on it. Like there was no damage. I had 0 damage to my truck. It was amazing.
I have the grill guards all around mine
but
too.
The point of the story is like over the next 2 days, like I was fuzzy, and my wife basically forced me to go to the ER because I had a concussion is what I had. Because I got hit and then the back of my head hit the seat, and it hit me hard enough that like I got a concussion. And anyway, so long story short, I had to go get these scans at the ER because I was in a car wreck and now I'm acting funny, and so they scanned me and all my scans were negative. I was like, oh great, I don't have cancer, right? So that was the point, is that I went and got the scan and I was like, oh, everything looks good. I don't have brain cancer. It doesn't look like there's anything else in there. So I get that feeling of relief when you get a scan and it shows that everything's normal. But then again, there's people like yourself that gets a scan and it shows something, but it's not a huge problem, and you go down this rabbit hole of more tests. Yeah. So I don't know, Travis, what do you think?
Worrisome.
You're quiet in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm kind of starting to second guess my my original statement.
No, dude, I get it though. Like, I honestly, I would love to go through a scanner, and if everything was like completely negative, I'd be like, oh, good. But then it's like, what if you find like something? It's like, oh, do I really want to go down this rabbit hole?
Yeah, like, because this is another rabbit hole, but like whenever I was pregnant with Avery, science has gotten so much better that they can do tests and look in their whatever those little dillies are.
The ultrasounds?
Yeah. They can see things clearer and they can pick up anomalies better.
Right. No, totally.
And so there was something that concerned them, and I had to go to a specialist.
Yeah,
and the doctor was like, I just want to let you know that the reason you're here is not because there's like a huge concern. It's just like there's something we saw that's not normal, but it's probably not normal because it's just
an anomaly. But bad.
Like because we were never able to see this before,
Totally.
like a couple of years ago. But you're here, and it freaked me out
Because
because I was just
right? You're like, oh my God, things are going bad.
So my child's not growing correctly, or something's not happening when it's supposed to. So it freaked me out. But they're like,
totally. I get it.
Nope, it's
All
fine.
right. Well, people out there in the internet verse, tell me what you think. Would you get a full body MRI? What if it was free? Would you get it then? That's a good question. Leave us a comment. I want to know what you think. So, all right, moving on. This is crazy. I know we always talk about crazy stuff that happens. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And the title of this is that cosmetic surgeons are not real. Have you ever heard that thing, birds aren't real?
Yes.
Cosmetic surgeons aren't real. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you the why I titled that this, because I saw an article and it was talking about a $13 million malpractice verdict made against a cosmetic surgeon, which immediately I was like, that's not a plastic surgeon.
Is this the cosmetic surgeon?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So this and so all of this, is all this was in court, so I guess it's considered fact. But this is, I'm reporting. I don't know firsthand, but man, this one really is just unbelievable. So that was Dr. Christine Brecht in Washington State. Recently was in court for a malpractice case of which a $13 million verdict was made against her.
Gosh,
so I want to tell you guys about this, and as I know you guys know more than the average person now because you've been hanging out with me too long, but I want to know what you guys think about it. So first off, this person had a 2-day surgery. 2-day surgery. Surgery on one day, and then the rest of the surgery was done on the next day. Does that sound odd to you?
Yes.
Very.
So the surgery included a tummy tuck, an arm lift, a breast lift, and liposuction of 9 different areas. And this was all done over 2 different days. So the patient was also a poorly controlled diabetic and also a smoker. It was reported that the surgeon took off too much skin on both the abdomen and the arms when they did the resection, and they couldn't get things closed easily. They also did all of this surgery under local anesthesia. No general anesthesia. The surgeon allegedly used handcuffs and weights to restrain the patients during surgery from moving.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
Can you believe that?
Next year, you're going to be like, and we also found out it was in a basement.
Can you believe that? Dude, and
apparently
actually
not Washington State, Florida.
No, it was Washington State. So that's a good guess. Like if that
Was
happened,
the patient from Florida?
no, I think she was
Is
from
she
Washington State.
actually from Florida? The doctor?
I'll have to look that up.
We need to look that up.
Sarah say it's got to be some Florida connection here.
Those alligators are manipulating these people.
I feel bad for Florida. I don't know, but I'm going to go look it up because I want to say that
Something
she
in that
wasn't from
water.
Washington State. So obviously this patient had a very, very bad outcome. There's just so much wrong with this. I mean, as you guys, I can see your expression on your faces. So obviously a 2-day surgery, that's kind of unheard of.
But she was older too.
No, the patient was actually at a respectable age.
Okay.
I think 30s,
Mid-age.
40s.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've talked about how doing too much surgery at once is a bad thing.
For
I mean,
sure.
this is crazy. Tummy tuck, arm lift, breast lift, and liposuction of 9 areas. Even if it's over 2 days, that's crazy.
So she was pretty much like on a lot of drugs for like 2 days straight.
Yeah. A poorly
Heavy
controlled
dosed.
diabetic, I mean, that is a huge, huge warning flag. Like, operating on diabetics that are well controlled is risky. It's you're rolling the dice. On a poorly controlled diabetic, like you're just asking for.
Because they have to eat. And
Right.
she was under.
The problem is, and I think I've mentioned this before, is like when your blood sugar gets high, which is what happens in diabetes, your ability to fight infection and heal wounds goes into the toilet.
Right.
And so you do all these surgeries on somebody that's a poorly controlled diabetic. The stress of surgery shoots their blood sugar up into like 600. I mean, they can go into diabetic ketoacidosis for one, but even if they don't do that, like their ability to heal and fight infection just is in the crapper. And so, yeah, that's a huge problem. A smoker, that's a huge problem. I mean, I will do surgery on a smoker if it's something simple. Like, I just literally had this conversation the other day because I had a girl that was a smoker that came in for breast augmentation. And I was like, look, you really shouldn't smoke. It does affect your healing, but being completely honest, an incision this big is going to heal no matter what. And, it puts you at more risk if you're smoking, but I'll do your surgery. But there are certain surgeries I won't do if you're a smoker. Like a tummy tuck, no way, man. Those people will have huge problems. So, I mean, these are just so many warning signs. Also, the fact that she took off too much skin, like that just makes me know for a fact that she doesn't have any idea what she's doing. Like that is like plastic surgery 101 to not take off so much skin that you can't close something.
You can't.
I mean, that's
can't
just
just
insane.
have.
The fact that you're doing it under local anesthesia, enormous warning sign. I would rather punch myself in the face 20 times and try to do a tummy tuck under local. Number one, it's dangerous. Number two, it'd just be miserable for patient and doctor. And you know, okay, why did you do under local? Smart people. I know you know the answer to this. Why did you do under local?
It's cheaper.
She's not board certified?
Bam.
Not board certified.
She couldn't get into a facility. All right, so you guys want to take a guess? She was touting herself as a cosmetic surgeon, a board certified cosmetic surgeon on her webpage. Allegedly, it's been taken down. Anyone want to take a guess what kind of doctor she was? Do you think she was a surgeon?
Chiropractor.
She was a dermatologist.
Yeah, I was about to say she's a doctor of dermatology.
She's a doctor. She is a doctor, but she's not a surgeon. Dermatologists are not surgeons. I don't care what anyone says. They do learn very minor procedure stuff, like taking off moles and stuff. This is major surgery. This is huge surgery.
Yeah, a tummy tuck is very serious.
I mean, what in the world?
Did she learn how to do this surgery on like YouTube? What's
I don't know.
happening?
I mean, she probably did some like weekend thing. I mean, that's, you know, I've talked about that before. There are these weekend courses where you can learn how to do procedures. I mean, they're totally unregulated and unlicensed. I mean, it's sketchy as anything, man.
I will say this: if she had just watched Nip Talk, she would have
Dude,
probably
she
been.
would have known not to do this.
She would have been well, because we talked about all of it: the diabetic,
Yeah.
preconditions that you can have, multiple surgeries in one go, local anesthesia, and like being a smoker and stuff like that. We talked about all of that on previous shows.
Dude, right? I mean, everyone should watch Travis. You know it.
She missed the boat.
She missed it. I don't feel bad for this lady at all. Like, a lot of times when we talk about doctors, I'm like, oh, I feel bad for them. I do not feel bad for this lady whatsoever. Her license was suspended. She got slapped with a $13 million lawsuit. Honestly, I feel like
I think the biggest red flag were the cuffs and weights.
I literally, that's what this says.
Like,
I was like, what? I mean, but you can imagine, like, I mean, because she was giving people, like, Valium and stuff to, like, kind of knock them down and also to, like, kind of erase their memory is what the court said. But then, like, you know, people get kind of wild, so, like, she was restraining them. And I can't imagine it was metal handcuffs. I mean, in medicine, we have these things called wrist restraints, and we use them for patients like that, or say like a trauma patient that has a head injury that's in the ICU. Like, we do restrain patients because they can pull out tubes and literally kill themselves by...
They're like, where am I?
Yeah, right. So I assume that they were soft restraints, but I mean, this is just crazy. As I said, I do not feel bad for this Dr. Brecht at all. Like, reading this is just, I mean, I feel like she should have
Her picture looks like she's from Florida.
Oh gosh.
I feel like she should honestly have criminal charges against her. Like,
No.
Like, I think that, like, this goes beyond just malpractice. This is like wanton endangerment of a human being. So,
like, that's like, it's almost like murderous.
murderous, yes. Well,
Like,
I mean, assault.
yes, I'm going to do this sketchy surgery that I learned
Dude.
off the internet.
So, I mean,
Like,
obviously we
what?
talked about all these things, but once again, cosmetic surgeons are not real. If someone says they're a cosmetic surgeon, that's not a real thing. Like, there's no such thing. There's plastic surgeons, and then there's everything else. Like, if cosmetics, it's just not real. Like, I just knew when I saw that title, it's like, this person's going to be an OBGYN or, you know, something else, like not a plastic surgeon. Because no one would make these super bad decisions that knew what they were doing. I mean, I read these things, I was like, oh my God, that girl's lucky she's not dead. You know, I mean, this is just out of bounds.
It almost kind of seems like she would be.
I mean, she's lucky she's not.
And like her family's the one that's like suing.
Yeah.
That's like, honestly, I would not be
well,
surprised.
I love this $13 million verdict against this person because the article and the court brought out the fact that she's not properly trained to do these. Like, they had a laundry list of complaints, but that was like the major thing.
I wonder if there's any more about her.
I don't know. We can look it up.
Like that doctor. I'm going to find out if she's from Florida.
You are not letting this go.
She has to be.
Please let me know. I mean, you can look it up. I want to say she wasn't from Washington, but I don't remember. Because it took me a while to figure out what kind of doctor she was. Because I knew she wasn't a plastic surgeon. I knew it she wasn't. So I had to like start digging and see, okay, what's her board certification? She's a dermatologist. But she didn't even do like, sometimes people will do, like a little surgery preceptorship. She didn't really mention any of that. But I don't know. That was terrible. That's like one of the worst. I'm happy that the girl won this verdict. I'm happy that this girl lost her license, which I rarely say that, but this is just beyond the pale. Like, I'm on my soapbox today.
That one was bad.
Rightfully so. Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
Cosmetic surgeons aren't real people. Remember that. All right, Sarah, you gonna talk to us about some cryotherapy?
Yes, let me pull
I'm excited.
up my note.
Well, I don't want to steal your thunder, so go ahead. I got questions, but I'm
Okay,
gonna
let me pull up my notes. Let me
I'm
pull
gonna
up my
at
notes.
least get you going here.
Okay, look, there's my little picture, dude.
Oh yeah, is that
Cold
something
water
you know?
therapy. That's like a pod. No, let's just stole it from the interwebs.
Is that AI? Did you make that with AI?
No, there'd probably be some random hand coming out of the water.
The eyes would be glowing.
Yeah, like Catman or something.
Oh my gosh. All right.
But yeah, so cold water therapy or cryotherapy.
Okay.
So there are some good benefits.
Okay,
to
so
it.
this is for just general health or like after a workout?
General health.
Oh, general health. Okay.
Yes. So it reduces inflammation, but we already knew
Right.
that because like
it's
when you
cold.
get an injury, what do? Like
you
the
put
first
ice on
thing, yeah, you put an ice pack on it. So that it has the same benefits of reducing inflammation that way. So that's a good
And would
benefit
you
of
do?
it.
Okay, first off, do you do this?
I do not have a pod, but
A pod. So that's what the thing's called, the ice bath.
yeah, you can buy like an ice pod, like an ice water therapy like pod
And
or
do you have to put
cryotherapy
ice in
pod.
it, or does it chill it automatically?
No, you have to put ice in it.
Okay, so you're putting ice in it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but we'll
Alright,
get
keep
into
going.
that. But muscle recovery. So like whenever I was a gymnast, we used to have this like churning ice
Wait, you
water
were
bath.
like a full-on gymnast?
I was a gymnast till I was like 19 years old.
I'm not sure I knew that. So what was your thing? What was your deal? Or did you do
I
everything?
did all of it.
You did all of them?
Vault, bars, beam, and floor.
Really?
Yeah, I broke my arm
Oh.
when I was 10. Anyways,
I'm not sure I knew that about you. Did you know that, Travis? Did you know she was a gymnast?
I did not know that.
Hi, I learned
yeah,
something new about
I
you.
can do all kinds of
Known
tricks.
you a long time and learned something new. All right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry, didn't
So,
mean to derail you.
yes, so whenever I was a gymnast, like I hyperextended my knee one time. And
Mm.
so every day after gym, I
Yeah.
would do an ice water bath with
Right.
my leg. And a bunch of girls had knee problems, so we'd all stick
Right.
our leg in this ice water bath that was like churning, the ice.
Right,
and
right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah,
We
so
had that when I played football in high school. They had an ice bath.
Yeah,
I
so
never
our-
did it, but
what are they called? Our athletic, like
athletic
a
trainer?
trainer. Our trainer. We had this like nice training room because
Yeah.
there's always injuries in gymnastics. Somebody was
Right.
always getting hurt. So he was always there. So
I
anyways,
wasn't like good
it was
enough
good
to get
memories.
the ice bath. They'd put like, our star players in there. They're like, yeah, you,
Oh, we had guys that would like.
you just go to
you
your
know,
bathtub. You'll be all right.
Yeah, they'd go too hard and you'd see like some random dude just like sitting in there. But anyways, so muscle recovery, improved circulation. So alternating between cold and water,
Right.
warm water can stimulate circulation.
Sure, that's true. Well, so cold generally constricts your blood vessels.
Yes.
And warm would open them up.
Yes.
But I can see how the cold would decrease inflammation. And so, is this something that, and maybe you're going to get to this, is this something that we should be doing on a regular basis for our health, or is this something that's more related to exertion?
Athletics.
exercise?
No.
Athletics?
No, anybody can do it. It's recommended that you do it slowly, incorporate it slowly into your life, but we'll get to it.
Oh, you're coming up to that. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Mental.
I just get all these questions in my head.
So
That's awesome.
it's good for mental well-being. So cold exposure is believed to trigger the release of endorphins.
Okay.
So that potentially leads to improved mood and reduced stress.
Okay. I
So
can see
happy.
that.
So you get happy feelings. So it, like that feeling of like I don't want to do this, but then after you do it, you're like, yeah, like you feel like energized.
Is there like a certain temperature the water should be?
There are, but you have to start out like at like a warmer temperature than you think.
Right.
To get your body.
So first you
used
want to
to it.
jump into like maybe 50 or something? Or is
I'm
there-
not sure about that.
Okay, we'll have to
I
look that
didn't.
up.
I didn't go that
That's
deep
okay.
dive.
I mean, I just, like I said,
You know, enhanced immunity suggests cold water might strengthen the immune system by increasing white blood cell count. I don't know
Okay.
how well that holds up, but
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
I
don't
always
know
think
off the top of my head.
I always think healthy people. Whenever I think ice water bath, I think like healthy people. So who's to say? The
I
internet.
think healthy people. I've always wanted to try an ice water bath just to see if I could like do it. Like I've never actually done one before, but I've always wanted to try
So
it.
let
Well,
me tell you-
I'll tell you. We'll go over like how you can start it
Okay,
into your
for sure.
life.
Yeah.
Like you
Okay.
can start.
I have like, no, I don't think this
adding it.
counts, but like, I know I used to do this when I was young. Like, I'd be in a hot tub in the winter and I'd go and jump in the pool.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I
That
don't know if that was
sounds
bad for you or good for you. I mean, I can't say
No.
I always did the smartest
That's
thing,
right.
but I
I
would
used
do
to
that.
do it all the time too.
It was like a shock to your system.
Yeah.
And then you
But
get out
that's
and you
what
jump
it's
right back
for.
in the hot tub.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I feel like probably I was harming myself, but do you think it's good?
I think, yeah, it's supposed to be good for you.
Okay. All right.
Not like do it like, 5 times in a row that might you, like what you were probably doing.
No,
but like
you don't
maybe
do
like,
that 5 times.
Yeah,
you do it like once, and
yes.
you're like, okay, I'm good for at least like a week or so.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the point. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So
so
I'm okay.
and then the last 2 are potentially pain relief. So
Yep.
we
I can
already
see
know
that.
that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
already know that part. But there are cautions, obviously. It can lead to hypothermia if you go into.
Right. Don't give yourself
So-
frostbite.
I think that was probably one of the bigger cautions of Dr. Herman's doings. Like you could have gotten hypothermia by jumping in a cold pool and completely submerging yourself.
Well, I mean, the one thing about when you jump into a pool in the winter, if you've never done this,
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't stay in it long. Like you jump in and you're like, okay, I'm about to die. And
Yeah.
you get out really fast. Because if you do stay in it, you will die
That's
very
wild.
quickly. So-
Yeah. But so with cold water therapy, you're supposed to sit in there for a couple of minutes.
Okay, so
and you're
so
supposed
it's
to have
not quite as
controlled
cold, yeah.
breathing and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously, before you start doing actually getting into an ice bath,
Uh-huh.
definitely talk to your doctor and make sure
Right.
that.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah,
'cause
don't talk to
I'll be I get bad
Talk
advice
to your
about
family
jumping.
doctor
Yeah, talk to
and
your
make sure that you're healthy enough to
Right, 'cause
participate
you don't want
in
to
this.
stress your heart. If
Yeah,
you
you
have
need
like
to
an
be
underlying
somewhat
heart condition.
healthy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You don't want to stress your heart if you're,
Yes.
I don't want to say older because I don't want to discriminate against old people, but people who are more prone to have
Yes.
issues that are unknown. You want to be careful because the
Yes.
shock could, like if you
Yeah,
get
it
that
could
surge
have-
of adrenaline, you could
It
cause
could
harm.
have some nasty.
Yeah, I agree with
side
that, Sarah.
effects.
Yeah, that's good.
So first, you're gonna need to choose the right location. So obviously,
Location for your
yeah,
pod?
yeah. So,
Okay.
like don't think just getting like a bucket of ice is gonna do anything. Like if you want to actually
Right,
just
you have
do
to
it.
sum-
Like you need like a bathtub.
Okay, so I was gonna say, can you do a bathtub with cool water and ice?
Yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
you can do that, or you
Alright.
can buy like a pod.
A pod.
Yeah, there's literally go on Amazon. You can find
think I've seen
a
those.
cryotherapy pod
Yeah,
or
I've
ice
seen
water
Are
pod.
they expensive?
They have portable ones too, I think.
Yeah, they're portable.
I'm in pool and by my hot tub, and I just hop from one to the other.
Yeah. The next one is a gradual progression. So
Right.
start with short exposure and
Tepid water, not, like,
temperature
freezing. Yeah.
wise, not
don't do
as
what I do.
not as cold.
Yeah.
So honestly, you can, if you want to start just incorporating cold therapy just in general into
Okay.
your life, you can do cold water face washes.
Right, okay.
So have you ever done that in the morning? You're in the
I
morning you
sometimes
feel
like to take a
absolute
cool shower.
Yeah, I take cold showers
Yeah.
every day right now because it is so hot.
Yeah, that just
I
goes
cannot.
without saying. It's like-
I'm the same way.
I cannot. After I go to the gym and I come home and I
Yeah.
think about taking a hot shower, I'm just bleh.
yeah, I hear you.
So I
can't
think
do
we
it.
talked about this a couple weeks back. I'll start hot and then work it
Yeah.
to cold.
Like jumping out your hot, turn down, dude.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
those
I'm
are
on board
ways
with
that
that.
you can
Yeah,
incorporate
so, get
getting
into it.
ready
What
for
about
that cold therapy.
Does it, okay, and you may not know this. A cold shower, is that the same or is it not as good?
It's not going, obviously it's not going to be ice cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be as cold as your pipes
As
can
your
make
pipes
it.
can get, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, my pipes
Yeah,
are
it's
lukewarm.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. Yeah.
It's cold. It's just room temperature
Yeah.
is really what I'm
It feels
putting on
cold
me.
when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So this is when you get into the temperature considerations. What water temperature should be cold, but the water temperature should be cold, but not freezing. Around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit is common.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
It's
that's
not supposed to
cold.
put
Yeah.
you in hypothermia. It's
Right.
just
'cause
supposed.
when you jump into a pool in the winter, it's 40 degrees. You're getting.
Yeah,
It
I
feels
think
like
it's
you're jumping into a tub full of daggers. Is
Yeah.
what it feels like.
I think it's supposed to be difficult, but it's not supposed to be so difficult that it's going to hurt you. You know.
You feel like you're dying.
So things to do before you start doing this, going hardcore with your if you get a pod or actually put ice in your
See your
bathtub.
doctor.
Yeah, see your doctor and make sure you hydrate and have eaten enough food and avoid alcohol and caffeine before you do it.
I feel like I would need alcohol to jump into an ice bath.
It makes you warm,
Like
right?
you and your wife with some wine, be like, you want to buy a cryopod or a cryotherapy pod?
Yeah, Amazon, deliver.
You don't even need to buy one. You could just use your bathtub.
Yeah.
Just
Dude,
go
I'm
get
gonna,
some
I may
ice
have to
from
try
your
this.
freezer.
It was funny. You give me these ideas. I'm like, I'm gonna do this thing.
So you can start with a full immersion. So you gently submerge yourself. You don't jump.
You don't jump. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been doing it wrong.
So you slowly go in, take a nice.
I had the right idea. I
Yes.
just had the mechanics wrong.
Controlled breathing. You don't want to like hyperventilate, all of that stuff. Once in the water, you need to stay there and to like make yourself feel like more relaxed and like you're not like if you're only going to be in there for like 2 minutes and you're just like staying still. You know how sometimes if you like move.
You do or don't want to move?
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
like,
you can,
and it makes it to where the time passes a little bit better. So you can like, when you breathe, you can like open your arms, like something like that, to like make it the time go by a little bit faster.
And shrinkage is normal, right? Sorry. I just had to throw it out there. I know people are wondering.
I don't think that has to do with females, but we'll
right. Well, I was thinking for Travis and I.
moving on.
The men in the room want to know for sure.
I know there's probably 10 or 15 questions on YouTube right now asking that.
Absolutely. And Nighthawk is checking in as well.
Hey, what's up, Nighthawk? Man? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining in.
So, so at the beginning, you want to stay in there for 1 to 3 minutes.
1 to 3 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then as you get accustomed, you can increase that, obviously. Okay. And then to get warm after this stuff,
Right.
Don't jump into a hot tub.
Yeah.
Blankets and just something warm to drink. So maybe like a hot tea. That sounds like really
relaxing.
Yeah, like doing your cryotherapy,
and then like a nice.
And then have some tea, hot tea. So yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. Yeah. I've been doing it wrong, but I like the idea of the cold. Like it's a different kind of like kind of a shock to your system.
And then how long have people been using saunas? That's hot therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'm on board with
this.
I'm gonna have to look up and see if there's any medical studies that talk about that, and I will give you an update at some point.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm sure there are tons of medical studies.
There probably is. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for doing that, Sarah. I love your topics and your segments. They're always great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave us a comment and let us know what you want to talk about. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week on Nip Talk.